All right, while they get that video queued up, let's bring in our guest who is standing by. Trial attorney John Day is with us. John, thanks so much for joining. When I'm listening to a case like this, these words are really important. Yesterday, we heard one of the friends of Valle talking a lot about fear, how he was fearful, how he expected that Raul Valle was fearful. Today, this friend who was not driving the vehicle, he's talking about anger, aggression. How do those buzzwords help the prosecution?
Well, remember what's happening, and thanks for having me. Right now, the prosecution is trying to reinforce the theme that there were choices, that the kids could make a choice to not get out of the car. The kids could make a choice to go somewhere else. They could have made choices to avoid the encounter. And the prosecution is doing this because the defense in this case can only be Valle saying, look, I had no choice. When I was confronted by all these people, I had a knife. I had no choice. My life was in danger. I thought I was going to get hurt. I thought I was going to get beat up. Prosecution's anticipating that. Prosecution is laying the foundation for Valle made a choice. He could have gone somewhere else. He could have chosen not to get out of the car with the knife. And prosecution is trying to counteract the anticipated self-defense, which is coming.
And in talking about self-defense, when I'm hearing Tyler Da Silva testifying, even though it does at this point seem markedly different from Jack Snyder's position, you are still hearing about really a mob, that there were all of these students. And he says he saw his friend get punched first, and that's really what started this. He got punched in the back of the head. How's the defense going to use that part of it?
Well, again, this is certainly tough for the defense, but they've got to establish in the minds of these jurors that Valle had no other choice. When he was out of the car and he was confronted by these people, he had a reasonable belief that his life was in danger, that he was going to get hurt. And of course, very chilling testimony yesterday from Snyder, who says that Valle comes back into the car and says, basically, I think I just stabbed 4 people. Before he gets out of the car, Snyder, who has an immunity agreement, says, you know, that he hands him the knife. He's asked, why did you hand him the knife? I don't know. Again, going back to the self-defense issue, you've got Snyder, who has an agreement with the prosecution to testify against his friend and not be prosecuted. So in the minds of the jurors, they're going to be wondering, is that going to cloud his credibility? Does that raise questions about that testimony?
Oh, yeah, we have a lot more ahead of this witness on the stand, so John, stand by. When we come back, we'll hear more from Tyler Da Silva, his position during this brawl, and what he says was happening with his friend, Raul Valle. Let's bring in our guest. National trial attorney John Day is with us. John, that wraps up the direct examination of this witness. How do you handle him on cross?
Well, what you have to do on cross, if you are the defense, is try to understand what a motive might be for his story to be not helpful to the prosecution. In other words, is there something behind this? Is there something behind Da Silva's testimony? Did he get any benefit from this? Is he on some type of a immunity agreement? That's what the defense will want to bring out. Also, is Da Silva have some reason to try to save his own neck? You know, pretty damning testimony, though, from Da Silva in front of the jury, where he says that that Valle tells him, you know, I stabbed these guys. He didn't say, and this is what the defense would have wanted for a self-defense case. This witness didn't say, Valle said, I stabbed those guys because I had to, because I felt like my life was in danger. There was no explanation in terms of Da Silva's testimony about why the stabbing took place. In a self-defense case, you want those words coming out, those words like, I had to do it, my life was in danger, I felt threatened, and we didn't hear that from this witness.
Didn't hear that at all. This is a strong state witness, even though he's a friend, perhaps former friend of the defendant. John Day, thanks so much for your analysis this hour. We are going to get in a break. When we come back, we'll hear that cross-examination. How will Raul Valle's attorney handle Tyler Da Silva, the friend who was in the vehicle at that second house party? Plus, we'll also get you an update out of New York. Closing arguments underway right now in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. How's it going so far? We'll check in after this.